Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another vlog. So, I can't believe I'm actually kind of making this video, because, at the beginning of the year, before the season even started, a lot of NBA and analysts and talking heads had us winning only 27 games. And it looks like we are going to surpass that by a pretty wide margin, if you ask me. And based on the game that the Pacers played last night against Philadelphia, we can argue till we're blue in the face that James Harden absolutely fouled the utter shit out of Ben Mathurin on a drive to the basket last night in the fourth quarter. But that's neither here nor there. The calls were not going the Pacers' way last night towards the end of that game, or really most of that game at all. You know, there was plenty of offensive foul calls and just things that were like, I kind of couldn't believe they were calling them. Like I watched James Harden whack Ben Mathurin twice on a drive to the basket, and there was no foul call. So, I don't know, man. It just seemed like last night down the stretch, it was like the refs were more leaning towards the 76ers than the Pacers, and I'm at a point now, man, where I really believe that the Pacers are in a position to maybe make an all-in move. And what I mean by an all-in move is maybe trading for a guy like DeMar DeRozan. Or, you know, I would absolutely shit a brick if it was for somebody like Bradley Beal. Because if we look around at the rest of the NBA, man, Washington's not playing well. Phoenix is at a point where they should maybe start to panic. Atlanta isn't playing great. Chicago needs to, teams, even their fans are clamoring to just tear it down at this point. The Wizards have been a disaster, will continue to be a disaster, and it's, you know, neither here nor there. I don't know what the hell they're going to do. Portland is in a situation where, yeah, they're in the playoff hunt, but, you know, how good are they really? You know, like, there's a lot of teams right now that are questioning their future. And the Pacers are not exempt from that. You know, do they tank the rest of the season, or do they add to what they currently have? Do you trade Buddy Hield and Miles Turner for somebody great, or do you just keep them on your roster, sign them to extensions, and, you know, be on your merry way, essentially? And really, I'm at a place where I'm like, you know, looking at their last 10 games, they're 6-4, but they've got some pretty notable wins under their belt, man. Like, ever since Wally Szczerbiak opened his big fucking mouth, we've beaten the Celtics, we've beat Miami, we lost to the Pelicans, but we beat Atlanta, we beat Cleveland, we beat the Clippers, we beat Toronto, and then, of course, last night we kind of got bullshitted against the 76ers. So, you know, the team's not playing well defensively. I'll call it what it is. You know, we're 24th in the NBA in defensive rating, and we're 12th in offensive rating. But Tyrese Halliburton has been convincing, and so has Buddy Hield. I didn't think that I would be in the camp of keeping Buddy Hield and Miles Turner, but I'm officially there. You know, Miles Turner has been okay. He's been playing a lot better this season than he has in any other season prior. Granted, yes, consistency is still an issue, but it's serviceable. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the one thing I was worried about with Miles Turner. You know, a couple of years ago, I was like, dude, if this guy plays against fucking Joel Embiid or Nikola Jokic or even Andre Drummond, he's not going to be able to hold his own. Well, now we're at a point where I'm kind of like, you know what? Like, if he can block a couple shots and give me 10 and 10, I'm fine with that. But Buddy Hield has been playing his ass off, and I'm at a point now where I'm looking at this roster and I'm like, do we make an all-in move? We got an ass ton of salary cap space, and I just think to myself, you know, it's not outside of the realm that the Chicago Bulls could just say, hey, we're going to tear it down, right? And we're going to start unloading our guys. And DeMar DeRozan is a guy that the Pacers could say, hey, you know, we'll give you TJ McConnell, Chris Duarte, and Isaiah Jackson, and maybe a first-round pick this year if you send us DeMar DeRozan. And to me, that's an all-in move. Okay, you get to keep Miles Turner, you get to keep Buddy Hield, and I don't think the Bulls would do this, but, you know, you're getting two decently. Isaiah Jackson's a young player, who I think is very talented. His fit next to Miles Turner is just very weird, to say the least. Like, you know, he's a great rebounder, great lob threat. You know, he's great at blocking shots. Like, there's a lot of things he does well, but he's not a stretch big by any means. And Chris Duarte is a guy that I just feel like he's just not getting enough burn to really, you know, see the good efficiency. Now, like, Chris Duarte is a guy that I feel like if he went to a team where he was like maybe the second option, or like, you know, a team where he actually got a lot of opportunity. Last year, Chris Duarte got a lot of opportunity and played really well for us. But now that Ben Mathurin is on our roster and he's been relegated to the bench, suddenly Chris Duarte just doesn't look like a good player anymore. Now, I'm not usually the type to want to move on from a player in their second year, but if trading Chris Duarte and Isaiah Jackson and TJ McConnell in a first-round pick means we get to grab DeMar DeRozan, I'm on board with that. I already think TJ McConnell is gone because Andrew Nembhard is just playing so fucking well that I just don't think it justifies keeping TJ McConnell's contract. And there are teams out there that desperately need a playmaking type of point guard, and TJ McConnell can do that. He is basically a pass first guy. If you're open, he's gonna get you the ball. He's not a crazy three-point jump shooter, but if you're a team like Chicago, which, you know, maybe you're looking to tank and get a chance at Wembanyama, you know, maybe trading DeRozan for all of that isn't too bad of a deal. You know what I'm saying? Then on top of it, you know, like a lot of people would say salary cap wise, that doesn't match up. You know, there's still an extra $10 million on the table. Well, we could eat the extra $10 million very easily. And I'm at a point, man, where I really think that's a possibility. Like, I really think the Pacers are looking to try and make, like, an all-in move this year. Ben Mathurin's playing his ass off. Tyrese Halliburton seems like he's, like, hit another gear now that Wally Szczerbiak opened his mouth. Miles Turner seems to be playing with more joy. He seems to be, like, actually playing like a center, which is helpful. You know, a lot of people seem to think that Miles Turner only needs to be able to shoot threes, and I have forever been in the camp that it's like, if you're gonna play the fucking center position, you need to rebound the basketball. Unless you're Milwaukee or, you know, a team like that has Giannis, who is always in the paint all the time. You know, if you're a center, you need to be able to rebound the basketball and bang down low a little bit, and we're finally seeing that out of Miles Turner. And Buddy Hield has been phenomenal. Like, I'm going to be honest, if we're going to make an all-in move, it's probably going to require us trading Buddy Hield. Like, teams are going to be wanting him, obviously, because of how well he's playing this year. But it seems like Buddy Hield enjoys playing for the Pacers and playing with Tyrese Halliburton. So, and also it's nice to see that we don't have all the attitude problems with Buddy Hield that the Sacramento Kings did. So I don't know, man. I really don't know what is in store for the Pacers. I don't know what a trade for them looks like, but we are far beyond tanking at this point. Okay, boys, I'm just going to call it what it is. Like, I understand we're a team that never tanks, and even I, at the beginning of the year, was like, yeah, we should tank and get Victor Wembanyama, but, like, or at least try to get Victor Wembanyama. And we're playing pretty well, okay? I mean, like, we got 3 first-round picks in this year's upcoming draft, and, you know, regardless, we're gonna get 3 picks in the first round. They're probably not gonna be super high picks, but it's just the idea, man. Like, I feel like we're in a situation where we can actually say, like, fuck them picks. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't believe I'm saying that, but we're in that situation where we can say, fuck them picks, give me a guy who can hopefully maybe play some defense, and a guy that can score. Like, a lot of people like to shit on Paul George. All right, I'm just gonna say this. And obviously, Paul George is not going to, you know, come up in trade discussions with Kawhi Leonard not playing really any fucking games at the moment. But, you know, I think back on the Paul George situation and everything. I think to myself, man, like, do you realize how good this team would be if we had Paul George back? Like, do people not understand, like, how good this team would be if we had Tyrese Halliburton, Paul George, Miles Turner, and Buddy Hield right now? You know what I'm saying? Like, it would have been, and to some extent, you could say that Tyrese Halliburton would have never happened because without trading Paul George, which is understandable. But, like, I just think to myself, man, God, would we love to have Paul George right now. Okay, like a guy who can play defense, a guy who can shoot the 3, a guy who is, like, you know, a bona fide, like, a guy who was a legit MVP candidate back when he played for the OKC Thunder. And, like, I just think to myself, man, like, if we could just have a guy like that on our roster, a 3-and-D guy who is fucking elite, you know, we would be sitting really pretty right about now. And we still are. I think, to be honest with you. I think the Pacers are still playing very good basketball. It's just, it needs to be more consistent. They really need to fix up the defense a little bit. I feel like teams kind of get whatever they want against us in the paint, which is kind of sad. We're also really, really bad at defending the three, I feel. Like last night against the 76ers, what's his name, Shake Milton, or whoever, was like lighting us up from three all game. So like, there's obviously a lot of things that need to be improved upon. But I definitely think the Pacers right now, with as much confidence as they have in Tyrese Haliburton and how well he's playing and how well Ben Matherin's playing and how well Buddy Hield is playing and Miles Turner is playing, something tells me the front office is in a situation where they realize they have to strike while the iron is hot right now on a guy like Buddy Hield. As much as I'd like to keep Buddy Hield, like, there's a team out there that might give us somebody if we're willing to include Buddy Hield, a first-round pick, and a guy like Chris Duarte or Isaiah Jackson. Or, Buddy Hield and TJ McConnell and a first-round pick for, I don't know, somebody like a Bradley Beal or a DeMar DeRozan or, anywhere along the likes of those guys, because there's a lot of teams right now, like I said, that are not playing up to par. Minnesota even. Like, even Minnesota's not playing up to par, but let's not get crazy. They're not going to be trading us Karl Anthony Towns or Anthony Edwards or a guy of those likes. But it's just the idea, man. There's going to be some guys out there on the trading block. And rumors are now that Dallas still doesn't want to work out their contract with Christian Wood. John Collins is out there. Like, I don't think these are guys that really move the needle a whole lot. But it's just the idea, man. Like, I think the Pacers are definitely in win now mode. You know what I'm saying? Like, they realized that, like, we've performed a lot better than we should have in the first half of the season. We're performing even better now, it feels, in the second half of the season, now that guys are confident and familiar with each other and stuff like that. If we could just shore up the defense and stuff like that and maybe get one more better piece. I don't know what that better piece looks like. I don't think it's a guy like OG Anunoby. I think it's more along the lines of a guy like maybe a Zach LaVine or a DeMar DeRozan, that type of guy. A guy who can really solidify just scoring the ball more. I think that at least puts us in a good position, but if we could really get ourselves a decent 3-and-D guy, or, maybe multiple decent 3-and-D guys like OG Anunoby, I don't know, just that, like, OG Anunoby is one of the first guys that comes to mind, but I would really love to have Paul George again at this moment, but it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people hate Paul George as Pacers fans. I don't. I understand why he left. But, yeah, the Pacers, just remember this video. The Pacers are going to be looking to make some type of splash, I think, to add to what we currently have. Because we're balling, boys. Regardless of if people like it or not, I understand we're 7th in the East right now. And we're performing way above expectations. But I kind of think this is one of those things where you have to strike while the iron is hot, and it's never been hotter on guys like Miles Turner, Buddy Hield. If we can get rid of a guy like maybe Isaiah Jackson and TJ McConnell and Chris Duarte, and shore up our defense or something like that, I'm all for it. Because obviously a man like TJ McConnell is a guy that is on his way out. Isaiah Jackson doesn't really fit what we're trying to do. Even if it's just trading those two plus a pick for a guy, I don't know, OG Anunoby or somebody like that, I see that as a win. Anything that makes our defense better and makes us better at guarding the three and stopping people in the paint, like Miles Turner played his ass off last night and defending the paint. But if we can get some guys who can maybe defend the three-point line a little bit better and stuff like that, like, I see no reason why we wouldn't do that. So, yeah, if you ask me, Pacers are looking way better than they should be. And Victor Wembanyama is officially out of the conversation, I think. And on top of it, I just think to myself, something's going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen, but I think something's going to happen where this front office seems eager to do something. And I don't know what that something is, but I have a feeling they're going to be calling Chicago about, a guy like maybe Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan. Because, like, obviously they're not playing up to par, and DeMar DeRozan's an okay defender. Okay, I'm just going to say that. DeMar DeRozan might not be like a crazy three-point shooter, but you don't really need him to be when he's like automatic from mid-range and can get buckets anywhere inside the three-point line. If you can get DeMar DeRozan, you get a decent defender, get yourself a guy who's got 2 years left on his deal, I think. and dump house of maybe a couple guys that are not really worth anything to you or anything that you care about, and you know, bring in a guy like that and then still keep maybe 2 first-round picks, suddenly shit could get a little spicy. So I don't know, man. We'll have to wait and see. That also depends also on if Miles Turner decides he wants to sign a contract extension or not. That's very front-loaded, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. Like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more on the Fast Break Report. And out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.